it's just another typical April day here in Toronto. And it's snowing, of course, because the snow in the winter never ends here in 2025. Welcome to the Leaside Bridge. We've decided to come here because only as of recent, Toronto City Hall is going to debate about whether or not to reconstruct portions of this bridge in order to provide a safety wall next to this pretty low-lying guardrail that, oddly enough, if you'd come here in the past, this metal portion would not have been here. A rather precarious ledge, only about less than a meter high, or about a meter high approximately, that would protect you from going down over the edge. You'll also notice in the background that there's construction in the Don Valley below as well, and on the sides of it, because in this particular area, Toronto's new Ontario Line tunnel will break through the ground and provide the newest bridge across the Don Valley, spanning it to the other side for its new RT service. The bridge has not been without its very fascinating history. Built in 1927 and officially commemorated as the Confederation Bridge. However, it's had a few names over its lifetime, including the East Valley Viaduct, the Leaside Viaduct, and then finally the Leaside Bridge as it's known today. Now, there are bike lanes on this particular bridge. It spans 6 lanes, 3 aside. However, has been reduced because of the bike lanes on both sides of the bridge. We'll try to go to the other side to see the view from that perspective. It is famous as well for having a very curious, one would call it maybe a conceptual graffiti installation, if not an urban art installation or impromptu unauthorized installation, as a car dangled from the bridge, almost set up really overnight by a means that wasn't witnessed, which seems kind of curious considering how busy the highway is, or the Don Valley Parkway below actually is, and how it was not witnessed being hung over the side is quite fascinating. The weather is absolutely delightful today for this particular vlog. But this being probably the last snow day of the 2025 winter, why not? We've come out for it. Now on the underside of the bridge, you can see its truss style of construction. Now, I don't know too much about engineering, so I can't give you many details about this from a professional standpoint, other than it's fascinating to see how a rather simplistic structure actually holds up the bridge. It's worth noting that if they do provide a safety rail above, that they will have to reinforce the bridge overall. But for nearly 100 years, this has sufficed to manage the traffic required for the span. So now on the other side of the bridge where we are, behind me you have Leaside Park. Leaside Park is a somewhat, let's say, remote area for downtown Toronto, but still technically in downtown Toronto, with some fascinating sort of enclaves and communities, including Thorncliffe Place right behind us. and a whole host of malls and strip malls and subdivisions and all sorts of things. We're making our way back across, and the construction of the tunnel area has caused a little bit of chaos as far as traffic is concerned, that's for sure. But you still have these fascinating, or you still have these great reliefs inside the concrete of the bridge itself, which thankfully have been preserved over the years. Not the most friendliest days to do a visit here to Leaside Bridge, which I'm sure in the summertime would be much more inviting. In the distance, you can somewhat make out the city of Toronto. Well, that's a wrap here for the Leaside Bridge. A really notorious bridge in recent years for reasons I'm not going to mention, but obviously the safety barrier is going to be installed for a reason. And not the most secure, I will admit. You could pretty much get in there underneath and do whatever you like, so definitely don't recommend that. But that's a wrap here for the Leaside Bridge on a cold day here in April on a relentless winter. I'm going to go back inside, warm up. It's been quite intense. Definitely don't recommend coming in the winter. The summer, it probably is a better visit and a better time. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for dropping in.